Hello and welcome to the Tech Core Concepts. I am Nitesh, and in this video tutorial we will be talking about github.com in more details. In my last video we talked about the basic essentials of GitHub and how we can push our local repository to github.com. In this video tutorial we will be covering the fork, star, unwatch, pull request, issues, projects, organizations, etc. So to start with, I'll start from where I left in the last tutorial to talk about git ignore. So say for example you are in a situation where you want to escape some of the files from your folder which you don't want to be tracked by git. Okay, so how you can do that? It's pretty easy. You can use the file git ignore. Let's see how. This is the, let me adjust a bit. Okay, so this is the last configured folder, and if I run ls, you can see that there is a file first.txt, and if I run git status, then everything is clear and it's pushed to the live github.com repository. Now let's make a change in the file. So if I'll say git it's nano first.txt, and I'm adding another line. Okay, and if I'll run git status, then it will say me that the first.txt file has been modified. Now let's add another file, nano second.txt, and say this is second.txt file. Okay, if I'll run git status, it will say that there is a modified file first.txt and there is a file second.txt which is not tracked. So obviously you can you can write the command git add file name and just let the git know that you need to track that file. But instead of that, I don't want this file to be tracked actually. So obviously if I'll type git add dot, then it will add both the first and second.txt, and if I'll only type first.txt, then still the git status keep on saying that there is an untracked file. To avoid that, we can create a file called .git ignore and simply just put the name of the file which you want to ignore, get ignored by git, second.txt. Okay, now if you run git status, see the second.txt file is no more, and git is saying that we have untracked file which is git ignore. Let's add that to git commit checking git ignore, and then again run the git status. So it says nothing to commit, working to clean. And just to verify that git is not tracking the second.txt, let's edit that file again, adding another line. Okay, simple enough. And if I run git status, see it's saying nothing to commit. That means git is not tracking this file now. This is very easy, and by this you can just avoid some of the files like connection files which need not to be tracked or to be sent to the GitHub for backup. Now coming to this, of course you can do n number of things with GitHub, but I'll be covering some of the basics only, which is mostly used. So first let's go to the profile. Okay, click on edit profile. This is the general page by which you can maintain your profile. Your account is the page by which you can just change your account or delete the account if you don't want to be the part of github.com. Emails, you can manage your primary email which is connected to github.com, which is used for sending the notifications. Notifications, you can always change the settings and click the checkbox for which type of notifications you want GitHub to be sent on your email. For billing, of course, you can always create a private repository from here by paying to the GitHub, or you can keep on working with the free repositories. SSH we already covered. This is the screen by which you can create SSH keys and then use those SSH URLs of the repository to send to push the codes without requiring the username and password. Security, this is something like you can enable the two-factor authentication. The two-factor authentication is a process in which you can always, you know, let the GitHub know that once you sign up, GitHub will require a two-step verification where it will send you an code. You need to enter that code in order to sign into GitHub. So this is an additional you can say security for your GitHub account. In case if you want to enable, you can go and enable it here. Blocked user, you can block any user in case if you don't want that user to be sending you any pull request or anything. You can just put the name here and he won't be able to send you the pull request. Repositories, you can see all the repositories under your account from here, and then the organizations. Now you can even turn the current account into an organization, but I am going to create a new organization. By creating a new organization, you get the facility of creating repositories under that organization. Of course, if you are not paying, all the organizations and the users and the public repositories are public. So in case if you want the organization to be created which should be private, then you need to pay to GitHub. I am just creating an organization named Tech Core Concepts, and the billing email should be techcoreconcepts@gmail. Create organization. Okay, now here you can invite members who should be the part of the organization. So I have another account named Tech Core Concepts. So I can send an invitation by clicking on this and clicking on continue. Just by adding the name, you can see that the user has been invited. I can click on continue, and then you can enter the organization detail in case if you want. Otherwise you can click on submit or skip this step, and the organization is created. Now you can see that currently NID82 is the part of this organization. If I'll go for like my another GitHub account and I'll open the Gmail, then I'll see that I got an invitation from Tech Core Concept on the Tech Core Concept from the other account. If I click on join Tech Core Concepts, which is the organization name, then I can click on this and the organization will be joined. And now I can see that there are two people in the organization. So again, by doing this, you can add n number of people to your organization and manage their repositories. Once you have that, you can click on this and create a new repository under the organization. Of course, you can choose the individual user in case if you want, but yes, you need to create the private repository. Then under the same, you can click on this to see all the people who are working there. In case if you want to remove anyone, then you can click here and remove them from the organization. If you want that this particular user should be now outside collaborator, then you can click on this to make him outside collaborators. Outside collaborators are the users who can still who are still working for the organizations, but they cannot push the code without the pull request. Okay, simple enough. Now this is the teams by which you can create new teams, and by creating new teams you can invite or add the team members into the team, and then can assign those particular teams to the repository, so that a particular repository has a particular team and those people only have access to the repository in case of push and pull request. Projects is the page by which you can create project. When I say create a project, it's not something like GitHub provides any way to create a particular project or to code here. This just provide a facility by which you can maintain tickets. So just let's see the demo and save project. So here you can see that now there are columns, and you can create a column, say for example scheduled, then to do, and then done. And now you can add any number of tickets. So for an example, I'm sorry, you can click on this plus and you can enter a note like scheduled call at 15th of June. Okay, and when you can move this to do when the 15th of June is done, and when it's done you can move it to done. So of course this is how you can manage different tickets in different segments, and you can see who is doing what. This project is being shared between different the people, so of course you can different users can create tickets and assign to each other. You can even create these columns based on the name of the people, so that you can assign them particular tasks. So say for example in this case I can say NID 82, and then all the tasks assigned to this user can be added from here. So it can be used in any ways. Now if I click on settings of the organization, I can see the profile. I can change anything whatever I want. The member privileges are something like I can uncheck the checkbox in case if I don't want the members to create the repositories rather than the owner. Same goes for the delete or transfer the repositories. This is the billing page, which is similar to the settings what we have seen. Security, again the two-factor authentication. Audit log, I can see who is doing what under this organizations. Blocked user, again I can block any user if I don't want that to be the part of the organization, or I don't want him to be doing anything with the organization. Webhooks, yes, I'll be covering it in next couple of minutes what is that. And then the rest are just like in case if you want to give any third-party access to any user about the GitHub repository or the software, then you can give that. Okay, now and in case if you want to remove this organization, then you can go into this danger zone, click on this delete this organization, and just put the name of organization here, tag core concepts. Okay, and delete. So this is how the organizations works here. Now let's go to the repository. This is the repository which I am seeing right now, and this is the public repository. So of course this can be seen by any other user. Let's check it how. I am going to the other GitHub account, and then I can click on profile. I'm on my profile, and then I'll be searching for the repositories. Just a minute, and I'll search for T2. For users, yes, I found him. I can click on that, and then I can go to the repository. So you can see that the repository is public, so I can always come here and see what is there in the repository. If it is private, then it won't be appearing in the search. I can click on this button to clone this by the command prompt, or I can click on this button directly, and the zip of this particular repository will be downloaded on my local machine. Here the main thing is that I cannot create a new file here. If you will try to create a new file, it will say you are creating a file in a project you don't have right access to. We have created a fork to this project. For you to commit your propose changes to. What does fork means? Fork means that right now I am working on this particular user's repository. Now you can see that previously it was 0, but now it's 1, because as soon as I click on this, it automatically forked this particular repository to me. How I can see this repository, then what is the meaning of fork? If I'll go for this and click on my profile, I can see that now this repository is also available in my login, which means that now I can do changes into this repository. I can do anything, but once I'll click on once I'll try to push and either create a new file which is similar to push it and do second.txt. okay, and I'm adding, this is the second file, and I'm selecting this create to the master branch. I can click on this also in case if I want to create a new branch, and if I say this, then a new branch will be created by this name, but I am just right now pushing to the master branch and commit new file. Okay, now this is the file in my Git tutorial repository, but in case if I want to suggest this to the user from which I fork, then let's do it too. Again I am going for I'm sorry, I'm trying to, and you can see that actually that the file which I created there is not here, because that file is created in my local repository, not on this repository. If I want to suggest this user something that there should be a second file, I can create a new file or click on upload the files, but it will give me, it don't allow me to add the file directly. So how I can do that? I can still put second.txt. This is the second file, and here I cannot choose that whether I will be sending it to master or I should be creating a new branch, because it will be always going to the particular branch in which you are right now. So if I click on propose new file, it's not posting it, it's proposing. If I click propose new file, then it will ask me, actually I have proposed a file to the NIT82 user, and now I need to create a pull request to that user so that he knows that I am suggesting a file to him, otherwise he won't be getting it anything. Let's see here if I am getting anything. Nope, not yet, not a single change. In case if I want to suggest something from this user to that, I need to create a pull request, and then I am creating a second.txt file, and I can even write the comment that this is the file which you must have to secure your repo. Okay, create pull request. Okay, now the pull request has been generated, and if I'll go in the Chrome and see, I can see that there is a pull request, and of course there is one fork which has been done by that user. So if I'll click on this pull request, I can see that there is a pull request create second.txt. If I click on this, yeah, this is the comment which is been given by me. This is the file which you must have to secure your repo. Now if I agree, I can merge this pull request, otherwise I can close this pull request, or I can put the comments in case if I want to talk to that user that why why do you think that this file will secure my repository? I can put the command and he'll be getting the notification, and then he can also put the command when I'll be getting the notification. But for now I am clicking on merge this pull request and confirm, and it's merging. Okay, and now if I'll go to code, I can see that there is a second.txt file, and if I'll go for commits, you can see that this create second.txt was not done by me, it was done by tech core concepts, and then I merged the pull request from tech core concept patch 1. This is how you can manage the pull request and fork. Then watch is used just for watching this particular repository. Star is something like favoriting this particular repository, and then wiki is used to define this particular repository. So in case if you want to have a wiki page for this repository, then what this repository is doing in a detail instead of just a readme file, then you can use this wiki to define that. In case if you don't want that, then you can leave it as it is. Now if you click on this insight and click on pulse, you can see what is happening with this particular repository, how many merge pull requests has been done, how many requests are there, how many closed issues are there, how many new issues are there. Now what are issues? In case if you see that there is any problem with this repository, you can always create an issue and track it. So let's create an issue here called issue number 1 with force.txt, and I am just adding it sample issue. Okay, click submit new issue. Okay, now you can see that I can always see the list of open issues. Once I click on this, I'll be able to see all the description of the issue. I can always put comments so that other users who are using the same repository can go to this tab and see the issue. I can even assign the issue to someone. So if I click here, if there is another user in this repository, then you will be getting that user and you can assign that issue to a user. You can add labels, you can add projects, you can even add milestones. Once this issue is done, you can click on this close issue button so that the issue is closed, and after that if you'll go to issues section, there is no open issues, and if you click close, then yes, there is a closed issue there. Now last but not the least, let's click on settings to see how the settings works. Option, of course, that's pretty easy to understand. Collaborators are the users who can collaborate in this particular repositories, who are not the member of your organization or of your but yeah, in case if you don't have organization, you can use these collaborators to invite someone to work on this repository. So say for example, if I'll enter here tech core concepts, then I can add him as a collaborator, and then if I'll go here and click, so here is the invitation from NITE82 for this repository, and I can view the invitation and I can accept the invitation. After this, I will be able to create a file without any pull request. You can see that now it's giving me the same option which I was getting in that user. Now right now I am in tech core concept, but I am still able to create a file directly, and if you don't believe, then let's add it just for testing. This is the third file. Okay, let's add it to the master. Okay, and now check it here, code. See, the file is here. So in case if you are in the collaborator team of a particular repository or organization, you need not to create a pull request, or you need not to fork a repository, and you can start right working on that repository without any problem. Branches, you can always check the branches which are available for this particular repositories. Then deploy keys, in case if you want the users who are the collaborators, if they can provide you the SSH key, you can always click on this deploy key and click the add button and add the deploy key so that they can work on this repository without asking for username and password. Okay, now the last thing is webhooks. What is webhook? Webhooks are you can say the events which cause another call to a online URL or something. So say for example you are in a situation where if someone create a new branch, or if someone push something in this tutorial, you want to get notified, or you want to run certain softwares or run certain commands. So for an example, you want that there should be a way by which if somebody push in this Git tutorial, then a automated test should happen, and it should automatically test this particular code that everything is working right. Actually that can be done. There are n number of softwares available which can do this, and I'll be covering this in my other tutorials, but for now let's add a webhook. When you add a webhook, you can provide a payload URL. This is the URL which will be called when this particular webhook is satisfied, and you can check that it provides, like, in case if you want this URL to be called just for the any push event which happened in this particular tutorial, or you want to send if anything happened, or you want to select some individual events, like if somebody commit, if somebody delete, in case of like labeling any issue, in case of changing the member or something, in case of like releasing the publish the repository, the pull request. There are n number of events which can be ticked, and then the webhook can be created so that whenever those event happens, this particular URL will be called, and you can use these webhooks. Generally these webhooks are used for auto deployment of the code. So for an example, there is an organization and who want that as soon as their 4 team members, any of the team members push on this, then the webhook should be called, and the webhook URL should pull the code from this repository and install it on that machine, which may be called as the production server, and run the test, and once all the tests are done, then send the code to the live server. So this all automated process can happen with the webhooks, and that's it for now. I believe this is enough for covering under this tutorial of the github.com. And in case if you have any questions, you are most welcome. Please put the questions in the comments, and I'll try to answer them ASAP with best of my practice. Once again, thank you very much for watching the video tutorial. In case yeah, sorry, please don't forget to subscribe, and thank you.